Well, hello everybody. Would you like to hear about a movie? Because I would like to tell you about one. Tonight's film that I'm going to be reviewing is Chan Wook Pak, his new film, Thirst. Chan Wook Pak is known for films such as Old Boy, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, and Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. In my humble opinion, he is one of the best directors in films today. So when the Netflix little sleeve came in the mail today and I saw that it was his new film Thirst, I was a little bit more than excited to pop it in the old PlayStation 3 and check out how it was. Just a quick overview of the plot. It is about a priest who is accidentally infected with vampire blood, and he becomes a vampire. It also revolves around his interaction, for lack of a better term. He is reunited with some old friends of his, and it deals with this kind of forbidden romance that he has with his old friend's current wife, and she's also an old friend of his. But it deals with a lot of issues of repression as a heavy theme. The priest, of course, because of his faith, he punishes himself for having sexual thoughts, and he's never kissed a girl, and all these kind of things that would go along with being a clergyman. And the woman that ends up being the love interest in the film, she was taken in by his friend's mother. This is very confusing, it's hard to explain, but she was basically orphaned and taken in, and the mother that took her in basically treated her like a servant her entire life. So she has a lot of issues dealing with her own repression, because she's basically spent her entire life living under someone and always being told what to do. And essentially what happens is this movie deals with what happens when your whole world's turned upside down. You're kind of given free reign to kind of do whatever you want. And I don't really want to get much more into the plot, because there's a lot of layers, and it gets very, very kind of philosophical in a sense. I hate when I hear people say that about movies, so I'm a huge hypocrite. But again, it deals with vampires, and I know that you hear that and you're probably like, God damn, another goddamn vampire movie. But I'm happy to say that it's not like any vampire movie you've ever seen. There's a lot of differences that Mr. Pak brings to the genre. I will say that the movie isn't nearly as good as the three previous films that I mentioned: Old Boy, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. The film at times is almost too ambitious for its own good. It has moments where it almost becomes a completely brilliant film. However, watching this, you can't help but think that there could have been an editor to certain parts of the movie. It drags towards the end, and there's definitely a lot of very, very interesting things going on, but sometimes it feels like from going to point A to point B to point C, too many subplots at points, I think, drag down the movie. I still, again, would recommend watching it. I think it's overall good. Definitely one of the strongest points I can say about the movie is I don't think there is a bad shot in the entire movie. The movie looks incredible. As far as the plot goes, there's a lot of interesting elements. I mean, clearly there's romance elements, and there's almost like 9.5 weeks erotic elements to the film. But at times there's classic, almost it reminded me almost of the old Universal monsters like Dracula. There's times where that kind of element kind of permeates the film, and there's also a lot. There's a heavy kind of Edgar Allan Poe kind of homage towards the end of the film. There's a lot of cool parts to this movie, but at the same time, when you finish the entire movie, I don't know if it all comes together as neatly as his other three films did, because I can safely say that the other three films, Old Boy especially, it's the same style of movie, the same style of writing, where he introduces a lot of plot elements together, but the wonderful thing I drank too much tonight. The wonderful thing about his films is that they all come together so perfectly. This film kind of struggles to come together towards the end. It's interesting, and there's a lot of cool, again, there's a lot of cool elements. There's a lot of cool scenes, and there's strong acting, strong performances throughout. But at the end of the film, it doesn't come together. At least for me, it didn't come together as much as I'd hoped it would. The ending is a bit predictable, and I would say that this movie has kind of odd jumps in character logic from time to time. But overall, a good movie. Something that I think people should check out. Again, if you're looking for something kind of out there and a little different from your normal kind of horror fare. If you're into movies that kind of mix many genres at once, give this one a try, because I mean, there's horror, there's oddly placed humor, there's, like I said, there's a lot of if you're into highly romanticized sex scenes, they're in there too. But again, if nothing else, you're going to come away from this film if you're anything like me, that this was a movie that should be made just because it tries so hard to be so different at so many points. But overall, check it out. And if you haven't seen Old Boy or the Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, all available on DVD over here in the States. Great movies. Chan Wook Pak is an excellent director, and while again I didn't feel that this was up to the level of his previous films, it's definitely something that I enjoyed. So I'll definitely be looking forward to his next film, whenever that may be. So anyway, have a good night. Talk to you guys later.